Welcome to episode 1 of the Ikhlas podcast, a place where I try to cultivate content that allows us to balance deen and dunya through sincere intentions and meaningful moments in our lives. Okay, Assalamu'alaikum, you guys. So this is episode 1 of the Ikhlas podcast. So the first thing that I want to address is what sincerity means to me. So really, when I say sincere intention or sincere dua, what that means to me is being raw. So just being raw with Allah, telling him everything that's going on, not really holding back at all, and just knowing that Allah will always be there for me more than anyone else could ever be. And it also means not having any ulterior motives. So not wanting to get rich or earn money, things of that nature, or just as much as possible doing what I'm doing just for the sake of Allah. And I really struggled with having that yaqeen, that certainty in Allah, especially when I didn't get into my dream college. When the feeling sort of came and I sort of knew that I'm probably not going to get into the college that I have dreamed I wanted to go to for 2 years, it sort of it shook me, because it was I didn't have a backup plan. No, don't get me wrong, I did apply to a bunch of other colleges, but I wanted to go to this particular one. So I was very shook, and I sort of had to work with the colleges that I did get into. And the one rule of thumb I had was I don't want to go to the south. I want to go to East Coast. But I'm not going to college in the south. And guess what? Now I go to college in the south. I absolutely love it. Alhamdulillah. So yeah. After that experience, it sort of was the first taste I got of Allah knows best, I guess, or it was one of the first experiences I had where it's okay, maybe what I thought I wanted isn't what is actually good for me. So yeah. And I decided I wanted to have a little experiment. So what I wanted to do is just test out having a really sincere du'as. I don't know about you guys, but when I make dua, it's sort of Allah, please do this, or Allah, I really want this. And it's sort of half-hearted. Especially if it's something I have a lot of control over, then it is really half-hearted. Oh, do this, but I'm just gonna do everything in my power to make it happen anyway, you know? And of course, it's not you shouldn't do whatever you can, tie your camel, rely on Allah, but the way I was doing it was more trying to take over the situation when I'm not in control of it. And I've been trying to make really sincere du'as, and when I'm okay, in this case it's not really sincerity per se, it's more certainty in Allah. And that was what I was really struggling with, because sometimes if I'm praying for something, I'm not really sure if I'll get it, inshallah, yes, of course I'll get it, but depending on the stakes that are there and how possible it seems, sometimes it's just hard for me to believe that can actually happen. And of course that's where Allah surprises you. Basically, it was one night when I just woke up really, really early in the morning, and I was okay, I'm up at 2:30 a.m. and I can not go back to sleep for some reason. And I know this is a great time to make dua, So why don't I just go ahead and make some dua, And I mean, since it's early in the morning, why don't I just try and make this the most sincere dua in my life? Let's just go for that, And so I decided to start praying for things that I really wanted. And while I was making dua, I also resolved to do my best, resolved to do my best, my part to make it happen, try my hardest, yeah. And I felt like throughout that day, it was just a really incredible day. I saw signs that Allah heard me, And when you see signs and you know they're signs, it gets a bit, I feel like it gets a bit surreal. And then it gets a bit it just gets interesting, wait, Allah's there, but then when you see the signs, it's Allah is there. So some of the signs that I saw were I went with my mom one time, and we were just moving the car, because the street sweeping stuff, and I was in the car alone, and my mom was moving the car in front of us. So I decided, there's no one around. I'm the only one here. Why not make a dua aloud? It doesn't hurt anyone. It's okay. Let's just say something aloud. And so, I just talked to Allah aloud about the dua I made that morning, and how the day was going really well, and I was so excited about the fact that I tried to make a really sincere dua, and Allah responded, okay, because I was on YouTube that evening, and I was just scrolling, I was looking for another reciter to listen to, because I've been listening to reciter. His name is Qari Yunus Rahman. I definitely recommend checking out his Surah Zumar recitation. I've just been repeatedly listening to it because a thought sort of occurred to me that I should listen to something someone else. So I was okay. I sort of started listening to Ustad Yahya Rabi yesterday. I mean, the day before the day I'm talking about. And so I'm okay, let's see. Maybe he has another recitation that I'll, vibe with or whatever. Not vibe with per se. This is serious stuff. The Quran's serious. So listen to. Maybe it'll make me feel at peace. And then I just saw a video about an interview where he was talking about his mom, or the title was something along the lines of his interview in tribute to his mother, and so I just clicked on that, okay, it's a something to listen to. It's not Quran, but it's beneficial. Let me just listen to this. Lo and behold, when I clicked on that video and I started listening to it, there's a specific part where he was talking about having sincerity in Allah when you're making dua. Okay, and I'm not nuts, okay? How many videos do you come across where they talk about that? I guess they'll talk about go to Jumu'ah on time, don't wear perfume, all this stuff. But basically it felt like Allah was talking to me, or Allah was communicating with me through him, if that makes sense. And just the more I continued to watch the video, the more sort of surreal the experience got. Wait, this is actually happening. And it just felt so incredible, And then, I don't know if this was, the next day or anything, but, there was a time when my mom was gonna like pick me up, and we were gonna head over to like CVS, and like I don't know, like I was working, right, and like my mom was waiting. She lost her phone, so like I couldn't tell whether she was here or not, and like I needed to round things up at my workplace and head outside really quickly so I could see if she's there. And the whole time I felt like she's there, she's waiting for me, she's there, she's waiting for me. I have to go outside right now, you know? And like it was so like I don't want to keep her waiting, especially if she can't call me to tell me she's waiting. Of course she could come up and tell me, but like why would I want her to come up to me, you know? I don't want to go down to her. So anyway, I got down to the parking lot where she would pick me up, and it was deja vu. It was surreal. Like the moment I got down there is when she drove in. Like the whole time I thought she was waiting there for me, she literally just arrived, and it just felt like, wait, did she come back? Was she waiting for me? Like it just felt so, once again, surreal. Like, wait, she wasn't waiting for me. She just got here. I thought she was already here. This is so incredible and interesting. And like Allah basically allowed me to get out there on time. It was insane to me, really. And like those were like some of the signs that I encountered this weekend. Oh, a major thing I totally skipped on is that earlier this week there is an earthquake, right? There was an earthquake, and that's like the first earthquake I felt since maybe my childhood. Like I remember when I was little, there was like an earthquake, right? Wasn't that like that big, but as soon as we felt it, we said Ayatul Kursi. And this time I was at work, and there was an earthquake, and thankfully it wasn't that bad, but like it shook you, like not just literal, like not just physically, but like internally, you know, like it just shook me. And like I just felt like, wow, subhanallah, like that could have been so much worse. Like anything could have happened, you know, like it could have been so much worse than I thought, than it was, you know. And so I think that was also like something incredible that Allah protected me from, and protect my family from as well. And so some lessons that I like learned from this week are that I'm gonna fail sometimes. Like I'm not always going to be able to have that certainty in Allah like I'm going to want to. But I can keep trying my best. And also like another lesson is learning to trust in Allah's qadr or in Allah's decree, because like it's hard. Like when something that you've absolutely dreaded happens, it's like your world collapses. So to sort of tone that down and realize, okay, my world is falling down, but it's for the best, is like empowering, I guess, or like makes you sort of feel like, okay, my world is falling apart, but God is in control of it, and it's in his hands, so I'm okay. It's sort of like that calm in the storm type of thing, you know, like you're surrounded by a storm, but you just feel so calm because Allah's with you. And then I want to end this first episode, and I intend to end all of my episodes in a similar fashion, by making dua for you guys, and like sort of practicing making sincere duas, and just sort of trying to give back, and hopefully you guys gain something from this episode. So let's start. Ya Allah, please help anyone who's listening to this podcast, please help the entire Muslim Ummah with whatever they're going through. Please put ease into their lives, regardless of what they're going through. Please just put a sense of ease into the lives of every Muslim and allow them to be strong enough and to feel that they're strong enough to go through whatever they're going through, and give them the yaqeen to believe in you and to always feel encouraged to make dua to you. And please give me that yaqeen as well, and please help, of course, our brothers and sisters in Palestine, and please help everyone all over the world. Ya Allah, I'm asking you with absolute confidence that you're listening to me, and absolute confidence that you will grant this dua in a way that is befitting and in a way that will result in the best outcome, regardless of what the best outcome, what I think the best outcome will be, because you know what the best outcome will be. So that concludes my dua. I hope you guys gained something from this podcast, this first episode of the podcast. I'm really interested in hearing if you guys experienced the result of the dua. Like, that would be so cool. Like, if I made dua and then, like, you guys actually felt it in your lives, like, let me know, because that is so awesome. And I feel like just reinforces the fact that Allah is there, and sometimes it can be hard to remember and to realize that He is there, but He is. So that's it for today, and I mean for this podcast, for the episode. My apologies. Hope to hear from you guys soon. Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.